Hello everyone, so today I'm going to show you why Reichland Flesh Shade is the greatest thing ever when it comes to making just like small little changes to a figure. You see Kingpin here, he is kinda lacking in a lot of like shading in the head department here. Everything is just cast in the skin color and there's no real detail except for the eyebrows and the eyes. And the eyes are also very weirdly painted. I don't know if you can see, but like look at the blue here. You can see how there's kind of like a line, and that's because the paint actually goes down his bottom eyelid. So before we do anything with the Reichland Flesh Shade, we're just going to use some nail polish remover, and we're going to kind of take away the paint here so the eyes are confined into the sculpted lines where they should be. So we got some nail polish remover on this tiny Q-tip, and we're just going to wipe along the edge like so. And as you can see on the Q-tip, it's taking up all that blue. So we just keep doing this, clearing the eye of any color. You know what? These eyes are so small that I think it's going to be easier if we just remove all of the paint. Kind of smearing all this paint around, but it's fine. There we go, most of the paint is gone. I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning off camera because I can't really see from this distance if I'm missing anything. But yeah, you can see like the majority of the paint is just gone, and that's exactly what we want. So I honestly wasn't really thinking about making this a like painting an entire head video, but sometimes life just goes that way. So Kingpin's eyes here are really tiny, so this is kind of hard to like pin down. Like it's more just lines rather than an actual eye shape. And I want slightly outside of the lines there. This is incredibly hard to do without spilling over. But I'm gonna wait for this to dry a little bit, then I'm gonna use my trusty toothpick and just kind of scrape away the paint like so. So I really wish I was doing it without the camera, but I'm gonna try my best to keep everything recorded. Painting these eyelids here are pretty difficult, but they're turning out pretty alright. And we're also gonna clean these up with the toothpick. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I'm gonna tidy them up like a little bit off camera there. Okay, so the easy part of the eyes are finished, and now we're gonna do the hard part, which is placement of the pupils. That looks pretty good actually, but my brush is actually breaking, as you can see here. So this is gonna be a little bit awkward. I probably should be grabbing a new brush, but I'm going to try to make do. I'd say this placement is pretty good. The placement on this one needs to be moved a little bit more that way. So, in a random stroke of luck, Kingpin in Spider-Man the Animated Series, which this is clearly based on, like the grey pants and the kinda not really ascot looking ascot, it's more like a weird turtleneck thing, and the entire color scheme is just based off the Animated Series, which I love. So, in that show, he actually has like very light blue eyes, and that's my favorite color of painting eyes because it just really pops. So, I'm gonna use some Vallejo Electric Blue. Trying to leave the outside black ring as thin as possible. There we go, looking very, very good. And we're gonna let this dry, and after that we're gonna try to punch in the pupil. So hopefully the customizing gods are shining brightly on me today, and I will just nail the placement first try. This is so difficult. I'm trying to steady my hand with my thumb. And yeah, this looks good. This looks very, very good. It's probably not like perfect. I think this needs to be a little bit more. So, and then I think it needs to be moved slightly, be like a little bit thinner. Actually, I'm gonna redo it. So remember at the start of this video where I was gushing about Reikland Flesh Shade and how I was going to actually use it this video? Yeah, we've finally gotten to that stage. So sorry about all the faff about painting the eyes and whatnot, but we're going to just have like a little bit of Reikland Flesh Shade on our brush. We're going to wipe away most of it, and then we're going to go for all of these little crevices. And we're literally just painting them in. A little bit heavy-handed on that one. So yeah, this is Reikland Flesh Shade. Kinda also dictates how old something looks. So if you wanna make them look even older, the more vibrant you make the Reikland Flesh Shade. Like, you don't necessarily wipe away most of it on your finger, but I feel like this adds some of that much needed warmth to the skin, and it works really, really well for the lips. I'm gonna clean up the lips a little bit. And you want it to be very, very subtle. You don't want to make it look like it really stands out. And then also, if there are any parts that became like a bit too thick, you just go in with your toothpick like so, and you just rub it back and forth like this, and hopefully you won't get into the actual grooves where the paint is resting. I'm not really happy with the lips. I think the lips work better if you follow my usual painting procedure, which is a bunch of Cadian flesh tone and that mixed with white. But I feel like for this particular instance, we're gonna mix some of this Cadian flesh tone, and we're gonna mix some of this just Vallejo red. And you know, try to make them a little bit more obvious, a little bit more clean. Looks pretty good, quite subtle, but I think I want it that way. So I'm always split on what to do for a light reflection. Most people tend to just paint in like a white spot. I sometimes like to use this gloss varnish to create like a more realistic, ever-present light reflection whenever there's light nearby, which means that it doesn't pop quite as much on a photo. But in real life, I don't know, it just kind of makes sense in real life, I guess. It kind of depends. On female figures, I tend to paint in the light reflection more because I like it when the eyes look a bit more kind of, I don't know, sparkling, I guess. But I think for old Wilson here, we'll just go with a gloss varnish, and we'll do that for the mouth too. So here is Mr. Fisk finished. I've been meaning to redo his eyes for years now, but I've just never really gotten around to it. I am perfectly content with that. This will probably be the last Kingpin figure I ever buy, unless they do like a straight up animated series sculpt with, you know, a closed jacket and all that good stuff. But other than that, I pretty much think this figure is perfect. So I hope you enjoyed the video and that you took something away from it. And I also hope that I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!
The Kingpin always holds the trump card. You will do exactly as I say. I don't think I have to tell you what happens to her if you fail.